Hey everybody, I hope you all had a very special day. A day with happiness, a day with joy, and a day of hope. You deserve it. See, no matter what you are going through at this very moment, know that you will make it through. Last night we talked a lot about some heartfelt issues. I believe that your wife wants you to know and understand. Again, to listen to them, to acknowledge the knowledge that they have. See guys, they are not out to hurt us, but to help. They have something for us. Okay? Let's begin part 6 of I Married a Narcissist. Now what? So just for a little while, we're going to talk about the boat that our wife is on right now. See guys, their boat is taking on water. Their boat is going down. This boat is not floating any longer. This wife is out of gas. She cannot do it anymore. So what are the effective ways to cope? Do we need to have the discussion of boundaries? Do we need to be familiar with the word intervention? Our first step is to put the marriage in its proper place. Because see guys, so many women today have become marriage-centered women. And Christian counseling has taught them, drop everything else. Marriage is going to be and has to be your first priority. You have to save your marriage. You have to do all you can. You have to try harder. You have to pray harder. See, she's been there and done that. She's read all the books. So to put her marriage in its proper place means God has to be God. And her husband has to move into a different place in her heart and in her life. Because if she needs him to love her for her to be okay, if she needs his approval in order for her to be okay, then she won't be able to set boundaries. She won't be able to do the work. There has to be a shift. Like, I'm going to be God's girl now and do what God has called me to do and to listen to God first. Then I can learn to be the proper helpmate that might help my husband the way God wants. But if she's so tied up into his approval or tied up into his disapproval that she can't function, then she's not going to be able to go to that step. So the first step is putting your marriage in its proper place so that you can value yourself enough. See, even if he doesn't, to begin to do the work that you need to do. And if you cannot get to that place, doing those other steps, they will never be effective. Okay? Because you're still looking for his approval or fearing his disapproval more than doing what God has called you to do. Boundaries. Boundaries begin with you having a very strong understanding of what healthy living is. And yet you want to have a commitment to what that means. So do this on your spare time, okay? Think about and write down the definition of who you are, okay? Don't just list 3 or 4, but write down close to 20 of the predominant ingredients that you would like to have in your personality, okay? Go with all kinds of ideas of who you want to be. And then second, in what circumstances do you find yourself least inclined to be that way? Okay, identify that. And then what does that mean? And that's where you go back to assertiveness and boundaries. It means that you are going to stand for what's wisest and best, and you're not in charge of making the other person interpret me correctly. It would be nice if they did, but if they don't, you still have to stay true to what's best and wise. if it gets to the point where the narcissist husband says, this isn't working for me, that's when you have to get to the place of saying, well, then we have some serious determinations of who we are, where are we going, and what does this mean? What's your role? What's my role? Let's go back to the basics. There's so much involved here, and hopefully in maturity you can lay aside all of the egotism and think in terms of us and think with empathy leading the way. I hope you have enjoyed the discussion tonight. I ask that you do go back, rewatch it, and answer and think about the questions that I asked, okay? I hope you know that I want the very best for you and your marriage and your spouse, okay? I want you and your spouse to grow. The time that we have here on this earth, it's not forever. Time flies. It flies by so quick. Let's stop wasting time and get to work. I love you guys.